Okay, so I don't really know what's going on. So before I even say anything, I'm going over to the comments. So can you guys hear me? I don't really know what's going on. So before I even say anything, I'm going over to the comments. So can you guys hear me? I don't know what's going on. So before I even say anything, I'm going over to the comments. So can you guys hear me? I don't know what's going on. So before I even say anything, I'm going over to the comments. All right, so can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, that was me. I guess you're hearing me. Okay, hey, and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Actor Rita Louise, and we're going to have a great show tonight. Happy pre-Christmas. We'll see, I was very concerned with the whole muting my mic and then not unmuting it and me being like, oh, I got this great thing. We're going to have this great conversation. And my mic is muted for the whole thing, which would suck because I got a great topic tonight. But before we do that, I just want to say, where am I? That Thursday Night Live is brought to you by the Institute of Applied Energetics. That's appliedenergeticsinstitute.com, where you can learn to become a medical intuitive counselor, or certified energy medicine practitioner. And if you go to the web page, appliedenergeticsinstitute.com, you can download my free 50-page guide to jumpstart your intuition today. That's appliedenergeticsinstitute.com. Anyway, so tonight, I want to talk about setting the intention for next year and a little review about where we've been, not so much about where we're going, but that might be a good topic for next week. And this whole thing was inspired. Somebody had posted a meme and talked about 2024 and said it was all about, healing, trust, and letting go. And so that is such a true statement. It is such a true statement. In 2024, actually, I'm going to start in 2020. So in 2020, we worked through a lot of fear. 2020, 2021, 2022, that whole COVID era. We worked through a lot of fear, and we really had to ask ourselves the question, what do I want? And what's important to me? And how do I move forward in that? Because we learned what we didn't want. And so 2024 has really been, in my opinion, us taking that information and putting it into practice. And with that, we have all become a whole group of unrealized warriors, because we can sit there and have some kind of adversity smack us in the face, and it might shake us up for a little bit, but for many of us, we're able to just turn it around pretty quickly and start moving forward again, and not put us into these deep phases of funk, of having bad brain. And one of the things about 2024 is I feel like many people have gotten to the place where they just don't want to take it anymore. They don't want to do the same things that they've been doing that has not necessarily been healthy for themselves anymore. And so the concept of people creating and having boundaries, the concept of people thinking about themselves and having a certain amount of self-love, and being mindful of their inner state, and then acting on what comes up for them in that mindful moment and acting on it, has really been some of the stomping ground of 2024. And if this is resonating with you and you've been going through this dynamic, you know, when you learn something new, when you learn to have a boundary, when you learn to think about yourself, or, you know, have self-love, it's a tool, it's a practice. And so the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And so if you've been working with some of those things in 2024, just think in 2025, it's going to be just that much better. So I was going to do this topic for next week, but it's the day after Christmas. I didn't know how many people were going to be there. And so I decided to do it tonight because I figured it would have a better reach tonight. And so as we are on the advent of 2025, the question is, what do you want? And better yet, what do I want? I mean, I want $1 million, but internally, what do I want? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. What do I want? Now, there does come a little bit of a challenge with that, of separating out what the ego wants and what spirit wants for us. And when we allow ego to rule, we find we're doing things that really, we might do them, but we're not really in the flow, and we're forcing them and trying to make them happen. Versus when it comes from spirit, there's this effortlessness about it. We are able to allow things to happen. And make it forward. So one of my bright ideas, because I've kind of been pondering this thought for the last month. And so one of the ideas that kind of came into my brain, and it was a little hard for me to separate out, is this ego or is this spirit putting that notion in my head? And so someone was telling me that they were creating an audiobook and that they were using software to clone their voice and then taking their text files and running it through this cloning software to produce these audiobooks. I'm like, wow, that's like just kind of a technology thing. It should be pretty easy peasy to do. I mean, kind of a pain in the butt, but in the big picture, pretty easy to do. And so I was kind of asking around about it because I thought, well, maybe that was dropped into my lap because that's something I should be doing in 2025. But then, in the same way, in my asking around about it, I found out that if you create an audiobook using an AI generated voice, you can't copyright it. And many book publishers like Amazon, etc., will not allow you to sell a book with an AI generated voice. So that kind of put the kibosh on that. And I'm sorry, I got like eyeliner everywhere. I just can't look at myself. So I kind of was feeling like that was spirit covering my back, because I could see me spending a month or two working on this project, because I was thinking about taking the Dysfunctional Dance of the Empath and Narcissist book. Here, wait a minute. I was thinking about taking this book and turning it into an audiobook, as well as this book, Dang, It Was Me All Along, wonderful Christmas gifts, as well as Dark Angels, An Insider's Guide to Ghosts, Spirits, and Attached Entities, all available at Amazon or on soulhealer.com, but also on Amazon and all those good places. But that was my thought, that I would create those books, but now I'm not. Oops. So if you're waiting for it to come out on audiobooks, it's not. So anyway, but one of the other things is, many of us get into these patterns of worry. And I feel like that's one of the other energies that we have been kind of working with and working through, recognizing that worry and fear really aren't our friends. And, if you sit there and bring up any concepts that have to do with law of attraction, really one of the primary energies and dynamics about it is about holding a positive energy, holding a positive note about it. Because when you bring the fear in, when you worry about it, when you think it's not going to happen, when you think you're not good enough, like who would want to sign up? Who would want that? It's not going to work out. Then that's one of the energies that you are bringing into that creation. And I feel like because we have been being more mindful and more aware of what's going on in our inner world, that we're noticing that fear or that worry or whatever that negative vibration is, and moving it out and moving it into a place of love and self-love. Woohoo! We're just like all rocking it. Wow. Um, uh, so when you ask that question, what do I want? What do I want for 2025? What do I want to bring into my life in 2025? Do the things that you feel compelled to do. Stop, take a breath, bring your awareness back into your body, maybe ground, maybe do some tapping to get you into the present moment. And consider, especially at this point in time, consider, because you don't have to make a decision in this moment. It's just, I'm putting out ideas to the universe of, these are the things that I would like to have happen. And as time moves on and as we move into the year, you might feel compelled to do that thing, and you won't question it. So as an example, many of you know, I bought a project house actually last year, January 2nd, and I was compelled to buy it. And I have enjoyed, I want to say every moment of it, but that would be a lie. But I really have enjoyed the process, and I'm super happy that I did it, because it's just been a magnificent experience for me. Now, granted, there have been moments where there was a lot of breathing involved. There have been a lot of moments where I've had intrusive thoughts about, oh my God, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? But I've always kept a positive energy about it. And those things would just seem to unravel in front of me and work out to the best that they should, even though in the moment it kind of sucked. And what you get, what that notion is of what you want to bring into 2025, it might not be a thing or an activity. You might want to have more inner peace. You might want to have more happiness in your life. You might want to have increased joy. And if you sit there and hold those emotions, then you allow the universe to bring you whatever it is, a freaking project house that you're working on for a year every day. But for me, it has brought me a lot of joy, and it has brought me happiness. And I have to tell you, and I don't know about you guys, but Monday was a shit day. Crappy. And all I kept thinking, because it started before I got out of bed and didn't get much better at 7:30 in the morning. And all I kept thinking was, I'm going to go and paint my house because it'll make me feel better. So by the end of the day, and after painting 2 rooms, I did feel better, because it gave me the opportunity to let go of whatever that weird funk that was going on. And there are several other people that complained about Monday just being a bad day. So if Monday was a bad day for you, share that with people, because there was something going on. I just don't know what. Okay. But if you, especially if you do like this emotional thing, I want to feel safety. I want to feel loved. I want to feel secure. Open yourself up to however the universe, God, spirit, whatever word you want to put with it, presents it to you, and accept it and say thank you. That is the most important thing, is to be open to it, even if it's something really weird, like buying a project house. Anyway, so now in this next 2-week period, now's the time to review last year and to start putting out the energy into the future of what you want and what you want to bring in for 2025. And that is our little soul healer moment for this week. Okay. So if you're enjoying the show and you want to reach out to me, maybe set up a time for a private consultation, please go to my website, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. It's loaded with articles. You can get all my books. It's really great. If you're listening to the show either in a rerun and want to participate during the live show, or you are watching it on a show that does not allow you to enter into the chat, please go to YouTube. And the easiest place is to go to YouTube, and my channel is Just Energy Radio. That's Just Energy Radio. Click the live button at 7 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning. I won't be there. You might, but I won't. Actually, I'm going to do this, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel or any of my other social media. Dr. Rita Louise live on Facebook, Psychic Doc on Rumble, Dr. Rita Louise on BitChute, and Dr. Rita Louise on Twitter. I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to those things. So, yeah, that's all I got for right this second. Anyway, so I am going to, let's turn that off. Let's click that. Go into the comments. I know you guys, like, you're getting tricky here, where you're coming even before the show starts and saying, hey, I want a reading. Yeah. But I'm going to say hi. And then as I come up to somebody wants a reading, I'm going to stop. If you are in the queue, I will respond to you. So you don't need to post it 2 or 3 times. And if you want to communicate to me, or if there's something you would like for me to share on air, please do type in all capital letters, so I know that it's not chit chat in the background and it's something that I need to look at.